Good morning, students. Today we will finish the scientific techniques of management given by F.W. Taylor. Okay, so till now we have studied the principles of scientific management. We have studied the aspects of work study given by Taylor, and in the previous class we studied functional foremanship. Okay, these are all 4 marks questions related to Taylor. Now, there are 1 as well as 2 marks questions also related to F.W. Taylor, and the remaining, the scientific techniques will come for 1 and 2 marks. Okay, so they are simplification, standardization, differential piece weight system, and mental revolution. Okay, so all these are 1 and 2 marks question. We will see in this class, and we will complete all the scientific techniques of F.W. Taylor, and then in the next class we will start with the Fayol's general principles of management. Okay, so come, let us finish with this F.W. Taylor's scientific techniques of management.
Standardization is a technique of scientific management introduced by F.W. Taylor. According to him, standardization is the process of setting standard for every business activity. I repeat, setting standard for every business activity. So Taylor believed that a standard must be maintained. What standard? Quality standard. Okay, so for every business activity, whatever you're doing in the business, whatever activity you're performing in the business, okay, so that has to be of a particular standard, of a particular quality. You set that standard, and every activity of the business must be of that standard. Okay, so he says that standardization of the output, that means whatever finished product you're producing, of course that has to be of a good standard. But if output has to be of a good standard, then you have to concentrate on the input. So whatever is converting that into output, that is your raw materials, your equipments, your tools, your machines, whatever you're using to make the output or to produce the finished product, that has to be standardized. That has to be of a good quality. Only then will your output be of a good quality. If you're only concentrating and setting a standard for your output, that is not going to give you any result. For output to become good, then input has to be of a good standard. Therefore, standardization is the process of setting standard for every business activity. So, let it be your raw materials, buy good quality raw materials, buy good quality tools, buy good quality machines. Use all the inputs of a good quality, then automatically your output is going to be standardized. Of course, your output is going to be excellent in quality. The next scientific technique given by F.W. Taylor is simplification. I hope you understood the meaning of simplifying. Make things simple. Don't make things complicated. Even if something is complex, try to make it simple. Okay, I think even in our daily life, this has to be adopted even in our daily life. Okay, so however big the problems may be, we have to try to simplify and make it simple. Okay, don't make simple things complicated. Okay, so anything is complex, when it is made simple, it becomes easier to understand and tackle the problem. Same thing he says simplification aims at eliminating unnecessary diversity of products. Now, what do you mean by eliminating unnecessary diversity of products? Suppose you have an industry and you're producing a particular product. Stop making unnecessary differences in the product. Okay, according to him during that time, okay, he says keep your product simple. Of course, standardize the product, make sure that your quality is excellent. Okay, and keep that product really simple. Don't need to make unnecessary changes. Diversity means what? Changes. Keep the product simple. Don't make unnecessary changes in the product. Keep your product standardized. Automatically the customers will be completely satisfied with the product. differential piece wage system introduced by F.W. Taylor to increase the productivity by the workers. Now, what Taylor said was, pay your workers according to the work that they are doing. What does this mean? He said, how many units your workers are producing, fix a rate for each unit, and depending on how many number of units they are producing, you pay them. For example, let's say a particular product is produced by the worker. If that worker produces that product and each product has a particular cost, let's say 10 rupees per product. Now, if a worker is producing 100 units of that product, pay him 1000 rupees, that is 10 into 100. And in case another worker is only producing 50 units per day, pay him only 500 rupees because he is producing only 50 units per day for that day. So, according to the number of units that the workers are producing for that day, you pay them according to that. If the worker is producing more, pay him more. If the worker is producing less, pay him less. Now, what will happen to the person who is producing less? He will automatically start producing more. Why? To earn more money. So, what happens when they start producing more? The productivity will increase. When productivity increases, what happens to the cost? The cost comes down. Okay, so this was his plan and he called it differential piece wage system. Okay, so here under piece wage system, Taylor said pay the employees or workers according to the work that they do. They work more, you pay them more, and they work less, you pay them less. Pay according to the units of number of units that they produce. The next and the last scientific management technique is called the mental revolution. Mental is related to mind, the brain, the way you think. The way you think is nothing but your attitude. Attitude is nothing but what you think about anything, about yourself or about anything else. So, what is this mental revolution or this technique means? According to Taylor, this technique says that there has to be a change in the mental attitude of the workers and the management towards each other. What the workers think about the management must change, and what the management thinks about the workers must change. The workers should not think that the management is their enemy. Understand? And the management should not think that the workers are their slaves, because the workers cannot do without management and management cannot do without the workers. Both require each other. Therefore, what is the meaning of mental revolution? 2 marks question. Mental revolution involves a change in the attitude of the workers and management towards one another from competition to cooperation. So there should be a change in the way management thinks about the workers and the workers think about the management. Their attitude towards each other must change, and both must realize that they require one another. They are important to each other. This was called as mental revolution. So what must change into what? Competition must change to cooperation.